All right, folks, we are back. We got an exciting podcast today to get into, talking all things Topps trading cards.
Yes, and more.
And more. Topps trading cards. Fan calling.
Live on the radio.
Favorite kids movies?
Yeah, kids movies, definitely a big point of emphasis here today, as we tend to get on one of our tangents, at least one per week, you know?
Yeah.
So, talked about that. A little bit about Caitlin Clark, women's basketball, the spotlight they're getting. And just another week of the Pipe It Up podcast, folks.
All around great pod.
I had fun.
Kyle had fun. This is the Pipe It Up podcast. Cue the intro. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Pipe It Up podcast, the official podcast of MLW Wiffle Ball. And today's episode is brought to you by the Alaska Wiffle Ball League. Are you ready for some wiffle ball action in the last frontier? The Alaska Wiffle Ball League's opening day video has just dropped, and even though there still may be snow on the ground, they are playing through it, folks. This matchup features an epic showdown between the underdog Meadow Lakes Magpies, who are hungry for redemption after coming off a tough season, and the reigning champs, the Big Lake Wolfpack, led by former league MVP Hunter Slabinski. Will the Magpies overcome the odds and dethrone the champs, or will the Wolfpack continue to dominate? Find out by subscribing to the Alaska Wiffle Ball League on YouTube and hitting that notification bell for more thrilling wiffle ball content from the Alaskan wilderness.
Wow. That's one thing. We talk about the weather at the Meadows. We've never played through snow.
No, we haven't.
We have not
tried
done
once
that.
in the middle of winter. It did not go well.
That is so elite, though. Shout out to those kids.
That is elite.
We've met them.
Snow sports are just awesome. Like sports that aren't, I mean, snow sports are awesome, but when, for like football, when it's just snowing and you're like, you know, it's a special thing that it's snowing, like those games are just so awesome.
I must say, I think baseball is the worst when it's cold.
Baseball probably sucks.
It stinks.
Yeah.
Baseball, I could see that suck.
Losing feeling in like your hand when you catch a hard one to the glove and the palm
you don't
area.
move a lot.
Your hand's numb. Yeah, you just don't move a lot.
Yeah.
Everything just feels, maybe it's the same in football. Everything feels slower. It feels like you can't throw the ball hard. You can't swing hard. Like you're so lethargic feeling out there.
Yeah.
Maybe that's true in all sports, but.
I mean, I could see why baseball is a little bit tougher. Not moving around a lot. You get pretty cold easily. It's also because like you warm up for the game and you sweat a little bit, and then like
you stand there.
You just stand there.
Maybe football too. Your adrenaline's just pumping so much every play.
I think wiffle ball is fast paced enough where
I think so.
You'll stay a little warmer. I mean, you can bundle up a little bit too.
Yeah, you can.
I mean, you're gonna have to check out, see what they're doing in this wiffle ball league.
Yeah, you'll have to tune in. I already tuned in. I already saw it. Not going to spoil the results, but I already checked it out.
Worth the watch.
Worth the watch. Great
the watch.
family-friendly content. You just love to see it. I mean, you love to see it. It's very nostalgic for me, seeing people. They're younger. Hunter's a younger kid. So seeing him creating content and putting it out there for the world is very nostalgic. Reminds me of Kyle and I back at Colts Field. So
yeah,
very good.
Worth the watch for sure.
And I do remember them, by the way. 2022 United Wiffle Ball Fan Fest, MLW Fan Fest. They were there. So shout out to you, Hunter.
Yeah, thanks again to the Alaska Wiffle Ball League. Go check them out. Today on the docket, we are going to start with talking about the latest MLW upload, being the Topps video.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
Talk about nostalgia. Very cool video. Very cool.
What'd you think?
Your guys' card collection. I really wanted to try to stop by my parents' house before this episode. And
Were you a card collector?
I was a card collector. And when you were like, I even went into some Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! I just remembered like I had a full binder that was just Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! I didn't do as much. Like, I wasn't into baseball as much, so it was, from my recollection, it was pretty much all football. Maybe some basketball.
Interesting.
But because I just wasn't into baseball.
Do we think, what is like the current like sports card? Is football more popular than baseball, or does baseball have the market share? I'm not really sure.
It's probably baseball. I don't know.
Yeah.
On TikTok, I see a lot of guys ripping packs open of football cards.
I think the NFL is just doing a really good job marketing, man, compared to some of the bigger, you know, some of the other professional sports leagues. I feel like I've done absolutely no research to back up this take, but I feel like the NFL cards are like the hot ones. You know, the superstar like rookie cards are worth a lot of money. But I would also say like it's like if you can get like a very rare rookie like Steph Curry card or like something like that, you know what I mean?
Card,
it's just, those can be worth a lot.
Yeah. What'd you think of the overall final product of the video?
I liked it a lot, and even better, I think the response we're getting from fans is awesome. People are talking about how they collected cards back in the day, and it's bringing back memories for them, and for us to kind of relive our memories too. Like, it was such a cool thing to do. And yeah, going back home to film it only felt right. And yeah, just breaking out those cards that have not seen the light of day really in like probably 10 years. Just been locked in the closet. But yeah, such a fun one to make. I haven't really looked at that footage until I started editing this, when we like got the cards for the first time, the mini cards, and we had to autograph those. So that was really fun to relive. And yeah, just a nostalgic, reflective type of video that once again breaks away from kind of like the the regular MLW videos we've been come to do, and the off-season formatted videos like the top 10 awards, like those all kind of have like their own feel. But this was such a different one than we've ever had to make, and I really enjoyed that.
I loved how you added in the little almost blooper at the end of your favorite card that you had made.
Yes, I'm so glad you saw that, because I'm not sure the percentage of people that actually stuck around the last actual 10 seconds of the video. If you guys did not see that blooper, go to the video right now and check out the final like 10-15 seconds, because I guess I'll spoil it right here, but I created my own card when I played Rec League Baseball. We called it Selkra back in the day, in like 2009. So I was 10 years old, and I hand wrote my stats and like my hometown, my weight, like all this stuff. And I drew the Topps logo, and it was, honestly, I forgot I did that, but it's kind of right up my alley. Like, it's totally something I would have done.
It's amazing that you still have the proof. I don't know if I would have the the physical proof, but I feel like I would have done something like that. You know what I mean? Like that you're just so like, you're so obsessed with sports at that age that like anything you can do to,
I'll take it even further.
Become more involved.
So in the summers, me and Tommy and Dan and Brennan and Rachel, we'd all play like ping pong. We made like ping pong cards.
Those were actually legit though. Those were made on the computer. Yeah. Like those were legit, hand drawn.
Also, when I was 10, we did like this bike racing league around my driveway and like front yard. We made bike racing cards.
Yep.
And Dan was on there with like his tricycle.
Dude,
we had stats of like win percentage.
I literally bought like a football wristband and just like made my own playbook.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Nobody else knew what the plays were, but I did.
No,
I knew every single one of them.
I think we had a playground playbook at one point.
Yep.
It didn't last long.
Did you bring out the QB arm sleeve?
I didn't have the arm sleeve, but like.
All right, guys, we're going 42 on one. Ready, break. Oh, recess is over.
I don't think.
That brings back memories of like the whistle and being like last play,
throw it up.
Oh my god,
what do you think is the most childish thing you did? It could be a trading card thing related, but like, what do you think is the most childish / randomest / almost borderline embarrassing thing you did in regards to sports as a kid?
I mean, I'll go back to that. Like, okay, I didn't have brothers. I did not have brothers. I also, I wasn't like a loner, but I didn't really have, like, you guys were neighborhood friends, right? I didn't really have a ton of like kids in my neighborhood that I played with like after school.
Yeah.
I'm not even kidding you. Like, I literally would just play football by myself. Like, I would just throw.
Told me that before.
I've said this probably on the. I've either said it to you offline or on the podcast, awesome, but I would straight up just throw the ball like in the air to myself, and that was like and I'm like running. I mean, imagination is just crazy.
Yeah,
it's like it really is amazing. Like, looking back, but if you're like walking down the street and I'm in the yard. I mean, it probably looked like I had schizophrenia.
Yeah, I was going to say, what do you think your parents think? Like, say your mom's in the kitchen cooking dinner and your dad is like in the garage doing yard work, and they look outside and see their only son like playing football with himself. Well, you know, like a proud moment, or is that like this
well, what's funny is my mom loved it.
Okay.
And my dad hated it because I would also do it in the basement, because what better imaginary end zone is there than the couch?
Nothing,
right? Because you can make some pretty insane catches going into the couch. So he's trying to, come home and relax after a long day of work and watch some sports. I'm throwing Hail Mary after Hail Mary into the corner of the end zone, which is the couch. Just blocking his view continuously. So yeah, I don't know. That's probably the most embarrassing thing, but yeah, it's great. Imagination.
It's a good example.
Great. I have so many.
I was trying to think of one. Yeah. I still have to this day somewhere, I think probably in the same shelf that my trading card binders were on. I have a lot of mini replica helmets.
Yep.
I have all the NFL teams circa like 2005 probably. Then I have all the Big Ten schools when there was 11 teams in the Big Ten, not 14 or how many is there now? 18?
Who knows?
Who knows? And then I I think the ACC and the Big 12. I didn't have the SEC, but anyways, I had a good amount of helmets, and I would just my bedspread as a kid. I had this green solid colored bedspread. And on top of that, it was a twin bed, was like a football field blanket. So it was like a legit football field. Awesome. So I would just take 2 helmets, line them up, and like have some kind of game. I don't know how that worked.
Go to war,
but
baby.
It was a game. Yeah.
Go to war. That's all it is.
There was some kind of game, and I don't know how you played with just 1v1 helmets, but
imagination.
Yeah, there was something was happening in my head. I remember. I'd sit there on my bed, and I'd move them down the field, and there was no ball. It was just 2 helmets.
It's awesome, dude.
I don't know how that worked.
The possibilities are endless.
So endless. I have so many, but I think my favorite one, going back to recess, I would like in my mind keep track of everybody's stats and touchdowns and receptions during that recess session. And I'd go back to class and I would jot that down. And I had like a season long like list.
Stats. Some about the Schultz's and the stats.
Like I was keeping like box scores, and I had like season long career stats for like these 3rd and 4th graders. I'm trying to think if there's anybody in the league. I guess all the former Seahawks, maybe. Ryan Kelly was a Hawkins kid, I think, for a little bit. This kid named Thomas Graham, he was like a legend on the recess playground.
Shout out on the podcast years later. Hope he hears this.
Me and him were too good. We weren't allowed to be on the same team. That package was declined. But that was one of my favorite ones. Also, me and you played a game called Crazy Catches in our basement, where we literally just would play a game of catch, but you had to, whoever won had the craziest catch, like off a wall or a diving catch or into the couch, something as simple as that.
It was just a game of catch, Jack, that I think organically we just knew something exciting would happen. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know, how would we like create crazy catches? We had
like that Nerf football that everybody has, where there's always like a bite mark out of it for some reason. That we were
the dog got it, or your little brother, one of the two.
Dan might have got hungry one night.
Those are the best though.
Okay, back to the card. Just refocus a little bit.
Bring it back.
We kind of touched on this a little bit. I think all of us have at some point in the last few weeks. But I guess for you, Kyle, what do you think really drew you to trading cards as a kid? Is there anything in particular you think that really drew you to collecting thousands of cards? I want to ask you about card conventions. What are those like? Like, what was it that trading cards was such a big thing in your life?
I don't know. Maybe it's the fact that it like makes you feel like a grown up, because all these guys are like legends and stars, and then you learn about the history and all the teams and their player stats. Like, this is when you're truly learning about the sports, and these individual players' careers at the same time. And I think just how official it is and how fun it can be and how it can relate to all ages, and how I honestly, to my dad was a big collector, so maybe he passed it on to me, and that's maybe how I first got into it. But just a lover of sports, like I think I just naturally liked playing all the Madden video games and NCAA video games. Like once I did that, then the card just kind of went along with that, and the card conventions was just another thing for me and my family to bond over with and all that kind of stuff. So I think it was just my natural love for sports, and the cards were right up that alley.
What about you?
I think building off kind of that tangent that we had of just imagination, like you kind of hinted at it in the video, but just the freedom and like the concept of like organizing your cards and like setting it up however you want, and just, I mean, you could like spend hours just flipping through them. You know what I mean? Like just looking at like, and remembering like when you opened this one or when you opened that one, or who got you this one as a gift or whatnot. Like the possibilities when you're, that young and that engaged in sports is like endless. It's a great like pastime hobby to kind of take your mind off other things. I think.
I don't know. I feel like the sort. It's funny you mentioned the sorting thing, because that was one thing I always did, and I don't even know if I like found it fun. It was almost like a chore. Yeah. But for some reason, it was satisfying to like be done with. Like, oh. But like, I can go to bed now.
This is the thing. It's like you couldn't find like your favorite sweatshirt in your room, but if someone was like, "Hey, where's your Barry Sanders card?" You're like, "Oh, page 4, like row 2." Like, I had, you know what I mean?
I would spend hours. Like, say I just got one new pack of cards. Say I got 8 new cards. It would take me so long just to get those 8 cards into where they needed to be, because I'd have to move every other card like in the binder down one slot. So just move a card and then slot, like over and over again. Like I said, it was like you finish, and it's like LeBron in that meme where he has his hands on his knees and he's exhausted. Like, I don't even know why. It was not even that, like I said, fun. It was just, maybe it's something in my head. Maybe it's a personality thing. Like I needed it to be perfect, but I had to get them. As soon as I got cards, it was straight to the binder, sort it by team, position, everything.
Yeah, I think it's just the first time in my life and probably yours too, where you have a collection. You're just building something. Like it's not.
No, seriously though.
It's not just like
you're proud of it.
It's not just like a one-off toy that you'd get at Christmas. Like if you get a pack at Christmas, like you're adding to something, you're building something. I think kids just maybe like to build just innately, and that was my first experience with it.
I think that's a great. I think that's a great point.
Yeah,
I think that's a great point. You can have kind of these, these toys here and there or whatever that, maybe you want to like. I mean, it's like, so-and-so, look at my shovel I got or whatever, like whatever kind of toy it is. I don't know. But it's like being able to show someone like your card collection is, like you said, it's like I mean, as a kid, you don't really have a lot of ownership over it.
Yeah, that's very
you know what I'm saying? It's like, but that is something that is yours.
Yeah.
So I think that's a really good point.
Well, that's why this builds on my next question is why do we think, do you still actively collect cards? Me and Kyle kind of said we both slowed down, but I
don't personally do it. I mean, I went through a phase where I was really into it when I was younger. I would say probably like, elementary school through like middle school. And after that, I kind of got away from it, but,
so why
I don't really know why.
That's the question.
Why is probably just because, I probably found something else, probably found other things that I was like more interested in, or, instead of asking for like cards for Christmas, I was asking for other things,
What about
probably why?
Yeah, I think just life gets in the way and you have all these responsibilities add up, whether that be like travel sports in my life or having to take school more seriously and just doing stuff more often in the summer. And MLW came along, just, priorities change, but, I still obviously like appreciate and love, the art of card collecting. I know Daniel and my dad still will occasionally go to conventions because my dad has a bunch of old ones. He likes to go and just kind of see like what other people have and that kind of thing. Daniel likes to tag along too, big baseball guy. But I think your responsibility just like add up so much once you hit that middle school, high school period.
I'm someone too, when I'm doing something like that's all, I'm always all in. I'm all in on the thing.
Yeah.
So for probably like 2 or 3 years, like those binders you saw full that I had 4 of them. Like that was pretty much just like 4 seasons that I was buying like crazy. And then I just like hard stopped, And it may have been because like, I don't know, maybe I turned 11, 12 at the time, somewhere in that age range. And my parents like weren't buying them for me anymore. And I didn't have money to just be blown on cards. So that might be why it stopped too.
It's also true.
But, I do still like it. Like I said, when I bought those Allen and Ginter cards, it was fun to go through, and it's like I want to go buy more. But it is expensive. But I don't know. It's just like the aesthetics of it is cool and all kinds of stuff. But I do miss it a little bit.
I think one thing on the Allen and Ginter set that I thought was unique. First of all, I didn't really even know a card set like that existed, like something so random like that. But I would think if you are a serious card collector, you would have to like, you'd be really excited about that set. That's such a unique set that
it'd be so fun.
Is so hard to.
It is so fun.
Like it's it's one of a kind. Like that whole collection, because you never know like what you're gonna get in that, right? I mean, you could get anyone from a YouTube influencer you don't know to like
a cello,
a vintage baseball player, or an instrument. Like it's crazy. I thought that was really cool. Like I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's a true set too. I mean, there's a bunch of autos, relics, rip cards, like a bunch of rare cards that you may get. And so it's not just like a one-off base set that you get. You get all the cards and then it's on to the next thing. This is like, they treat it like truly as professional as you can with card collecting. And, like as you see in the video, me and Tommy had these super rare, like black mini cards. We had to sign with like a certain marker. There's only like 10 of those out there, like just chasing stuff like that of your favorite online personality or athlete. That's just such a cool idea. And I'm just so privileged to be a part of it.
So on that note, you guys signed 600 mini cards each. So were all of those put into a set, like those mini cards?
Yeah, all those went out.
So whenever you buy, at least the packs that I bought of Allen and Ginter, you get like 7 cards of normal size, and you get 1 mini insert. So every pack gets 1 mini, which is cool. It's like a different size card. And that's all we signed. We didn't sign any full-size cards. So we only signed the minis.
Yep.
And all the minis are signed, though?
But no, you can get minis that are unsigned, too.
Okay, I got it.
So I have no idea, like, and it probably isn't public knowledge, what, like, the print set
ratio,
was.
yeah.
But
every pack, I think you're guaranteed to get a couple fun ones, and I think included in the fun ones is like a mini or a non-baseball player. That might be right, but in the cards that I opened up and when I went to Target the other day, like when I got those hobby boxes, I think it was 6 per pack, and it was like guaranteed to have like 2 like non-traditional ones.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I bought,
which is similar to the MLW Patley cards. Actually, there's supposed to be like 6 base, and then there's 2 more kind of rare ones.
I mean, Topps is. I mean, to my knowledge, Topps is like is the biggest.
They're them.
They're them. I mean, are there other ones even out there?
Yeah, there used to be. I don't know.
People like
now
regularly buy though.
Now I think Fanatics owns Topps. I don't think there's any branding change there, but yeah, I had a mixture of Topps. That was always my primary. That was like the ones I wanted.
Yeah.
But again, being a kid, I was getting what you want.
Upper Deck.
50 cents cheaper was like Upper Deck cards.
Yeah.
Bowman. There was Bowman.
Upper Deck. I had a lot of Upper Deck. Yeah.
Upper Deck. Just like to me, the Topps artwork was always like cool looking. Just to my eye as a kid. Maybe it was because Kyle had more Topps. I don't know. You know, you're a kid. You want certain things. You want the best. But Upper Decks were still cool cards.
Well, my question was just going to be: is there a similar card company that does like a similar type set?
Probably not.
There's I don't know. There might be something similar, but I don't even know like if Upper Deck still creates like cards.
Let's call the fan who wants to come on and ask. Maybe he'll know.
He's
a trading card guy. Get him on the horn.
Got an expert on the line?
I don't know if it's an expert. We don't know much about this fan.
Yo, while we're on the topic of fans, take a look behind Jack's head. Look at that artwork.
Some fan art.
The artwork has begun on the wall. If you have an artistic talent, if you like drawing, you like painting, send it in to us. You can even send us a PDF of that drawing or artwork, and we'd love to put it on the wall. We've got a couple of pictures up there, and I'd love to keep building upon that.
So Jack, who's this fan you're about to call? What do we know about him? Not much.
Nothing.
Pretty much nothing.
We know nothing other than the fact that he listens to the podcast often. He's been trying to get on. We almost had him on for the Super Bowl after the Super Bowl, but 49ers lost, unfortunately. So it's been a long time coming.
Okay.
Should we dial?
Dial him up. We'll learn his name when we get him on the line.
All right.
This is exciting. This is our first audio call in a long time.
Say something for me, K-Rich. Oh, there we go.
All right. What's up? There we go.
We got him.
Hey, how's it going, man?
Sounds good.
Going good. How are you guys?
Doing well. You're on the Pipe It Up podcast. Why don't you introduce yourself to the listeners? Because we're also wondering what we should call you.
All right. My name is Crew.
Okay. What's up, Crew?
I guess start with how long you've been listening to the podcast.
All right. Yeah.
Sure.
All right. So I started listening to the podcast last year, and I've only been watching MLW for a year ever since the what's his name? Mark Rober video.
Oh,
nice.
Mark Rober fan.
Awesome.
Sweet. Crew, can you hear me all right? This is Tom. Can you hear me all right? This is Tommy.
Oh, what's up, Tommy?
What up? Thanks for coming on the show. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, the reason we wanted to get you on today, first of all, it sounds like you've been wanting to come on the show, so we appreciate that. But are you a trading card novice and expert? We're talking trading cards. We're talking about our cards in the top set. Where do you fall in the world of trading cards, and where is it a hobby of yours, a main passion? What's that relationship like for you?
Both a hobby and a passion. So I've been collecting since I was 5 years old because of my grandpa.
Okay.
Nice.
And he got me into trading cards when he bought me a card of my favorite player, Albert Pujols.
Oh, Pujols.
Classic.
Legend.
Yep. Grew up a Cardinals fan, so that was a big deal for me.
Sweet.
So are you strictly baseball? Or are we going all kind of major professional sports? What's your card collection looking like?
It's mostly baseball. I've got about 3,500 baseball cards. And then roughly 100 football, 100 basketball. Right
on. Okay. What's the most valuable? Do you like actively track kind of the worth of some of those cards? I imagine you're taking good care of them.
Yeah, I do track the worth of a few of them.
Okay, cool. You want to give us a number? What do you think what's your highest valued card?
My highest valued card is a 1958 World Series batting foes, Mickey Mantle and Hank Aaron.
Well,
that sounds expensive.
Whoa.
Yeah.
That's sweet. Okay, cool.
That thing better be in a case.
Yeah.
It is.
Sweet. Hold on to that thing for a long, long time.
Yep.
We do have some questions for you because we're finding questions as we go here, as we discuss, because we're well versed in the space. At least we were at one point, but we're not as active in the trading card community anymore. But you mentioned in one of your DMs about how you have something interesting in regards to sorting, which I commented on being a big deal for me as a kid. So what do you do when it comes to sorting your 4,000 cards?
So I have 4 3-inch binders filled. And they're sorted by position.
Oh, position.
Okay.
I always did team.
And then inside of position, I do it alphabetically by last name.
Oh, wow. That's
amazing.
So intense. So this is the same problem that I have then. When you buy a new pack of cards, are you then moving a bunch of cards over one space, one at a time, and it takes you hours and hours?
Yes, and I love it.
He loves it. Okay, interesting. See, I kind of told Jack and Kyle that was definitely a big way I spent my time as a kid when I was big into collecting cards. But I don't know if I loved it or if I hated it. Like, I definitely didn't hate it because I kept doing it, but it did almost feel like a chore at times that I was addicted to. I was addicted to the grind. I just loved how good it looked all sorted. But I was going just by team and position, not last names.
Oh, yeah. I used to have it that way until I used to change it a lot as a kid. So
yeah, my favorite team was the Detroit Tigers. You're the Cardinals. Yeah. I'm a Tigers guy. Still am. Got my gear on today in honor of first week of baseball here. But so if I pulled a Tiger player in a deck of cards, I was moving the other 30. What is it? 29 or 31 teams? How many teams are in the MLB?
Yeah.
30.
30. So I was moving 29 other teams worth of cards over one space. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it was such a grind.
It's a grind, man.
Yep.
But I love that. So do you have your hands on any of this year's Allen and Ginter sets, or maybe even years past, or no?
I have a few of the past years, but I've been trying to look for last year's 2023 Allen and Ginter.
Okay. I think they're still out there. Target, Walmart,
Walmart, local hobby shops, they got them.
What's the most like interesting Allen and Ginter card you pulled from previous years?
I don't even remember. I haven't gotten a bunch of the random ones. The coolest one is probably like a BJ Upton like baseball bat piece.
Nice.
Oh, that's sweet.
That is sick.
I had what did I find? I found a David Ortiz bat piece.
Yeah.
Oh.
You lose him?
Yep. Yeah.
We'll see if we get him back on.
Yeah, we'll try.
DM him to give you a call back at his earliest convenience.
Like a true radio show right here.
Yeah, true radio show here. Kyle, let's talk about the limited autographed cards, like the gold autographs and the red ink and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Because those were on eBay.
I know.
What was that like, seeing all the cards for sale?
Pretty crazy. I think my most expensive one is like $50, you too, which I think is a pretty good rate.
I can top you on that.
Yeah, I think
that's pretty good.
That was the last time I looked.
Your guys' was selling the signed ones.
I don't know who's buying these,
and also
Jack.
That's current. It could there could have been other ones that have sold.
Yeah, were those signed ones or just
signed?
Signed mini ones.
The ones that aren't signed, like the base one, it's probably like a couple bucks
for like a
big MLW fans, dude.
Yeah, I don't know
how much would the whole. Can you buy the whole set?
No. You gotta collect it, man.
There's no way.
It's like Pokemon. You gotta catch them all.
Is that the point?
Yeah.
Dude, if you actually go to the checklist, it's like thousands of cards. It might
so many.
It's like probably a couple grand cards.
It's insane.
Because there's so many.
What does a pack of Allen and Ginter run?
There's so many versions.
A pack runs. I think I paid $25 and I got like 24 cards total. It was either 24 or 32. I couldn't remember if it was packs of 4 or 8.
Caller, you're on line 1.
He's back.
He's back.
Awesome.
Okay, no problem. First question: are you loyal to a specific brand, or do you have a variety of brands of cards?
Mostly Topps.
Mostly Topps.
But I do like pulling and buying other different packs just to spice it up.
Okay, I think that's a good answer.
What are the other What are the other packs?
I know I like it's another Topps one, but it's like the Gypsy Queen or whatever it's called.
Not familiar. Sounds interesting.
We used to be into Upper Deck a little bit.
Yeah, those are cool.
Those are cool.
Is that still around?
I don't really know for sure, but I have opened a few of the older packs as well.
Okay, so my question for you is there, to your knowledge, is there anything that's similar on the market to Allen and Ginter, being where there's some non-athlete related trading cards found in an athlete set, or is Allen and Ginter kind of one of a kind?
I've seen like a Topps one where it's like McDonald's trading cards.
Interesting. Little collab
like
cards?
menu items or something?
Or like, you know, like Grimace and like Ronald McDonald type
Grimace
thing.
card.
That's actually hilarious.
At least I think I've seen that. If not, I've been
do a quick
seeing
Google.
it, but I've seen the McDonald's logo on a couple of Topps packs.
So, Crew, are you strictly sports, or do you also do maybe, you know, we obviously in the video, Kyle touched on his Yu-Gi-Oh! And Pokemon part of his collection. We were breaking that down a little bit early on the podcast. Are you just sports?
I used to be a huge Pokemon and stuff, but then I kind of outgrew it a little bit, and it's been mostly sports since then.
Nice. Right on.
I never got into Pokemon. I wish I would have, but I had bought Yu-Gi-Oh cards, a lot of Yu-Gi-Oh cards, and I still to this day and never did know actually like how to play Yu-Gi-Oh. Like
I had no idea.
Well, I was going to ask you that and him if he was really into it, but I was always so interested and wanted to go to one of those tournaments, like 1v1 tournaments, but I never know how to actually like play. Like I was too young to get it.
I learned how to play the Pokemon a little bit, but not the Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah.
I know how to play Pokemon digitally, but not via cards.
Oh, I could do that all day long. Yeah.
If there's any listeners out there that went to a tournament of like Yu-Gi-Oh or Pokemon face-offs, like let me know, because I want to know. That's something I always wanted to do, but never even like knew where to go for that.
Have you ever been to a card convention?
I have not yet, but I am looking to go to one soon.
Interesting.
It's a good time.
It is. What really goes down in a card convention, Kyle?
Oh, it's just years and years of experience trotting around looking for something they don't have and selling their
Who's
doubles.
selling? Is it like companies or is it
it's
individuals?
I think it's just dudes. It could be companies, but like, I mean, I think you could probably just like...
So you just pay for a spot and you lay down your collection?
I'm pretty sure.
Wow.
Well, like I was also like pretty young when I saw this going down, but they seem like some average Joes to me.
Huh.
Crew, what do you think is your favorite part about collecting cards? I mean, why do you do it? You know, you mentioned the sorting and kind of organizing things, but like what really draws you to it?
I really love the like unknown factor of like, who am I going to pull? Am I going to pull something cool? Am I going to get someone I've never gotten before? It's always just fun to see the new faces in the league, where
That's cool, yeah.
players that I got cards from like 10 years ago, what teams they ended up on now. And it's just cool to see what I'll get, and it's the excitement of that.
Yeah.
I agree.
Like that.
I think I wonder if like 30, 40 years from now, there'll still be physical trading cards, if they'll all go NFTs.
Ugh.
I
think that I feel like people like to hold it.
I think so too.
Like
There's
we've
too much,
talked
But
about.
I could see it going like full NFT and then it coming back and then just like booming.
Yeah.
Like I could see it coming back to physical one day when everything's digital and then like the market just rocket ships.
I mean, you've kind of seen that a little bit with music in a way where, I mean, everyone used to have a CD player or something like that, and or listen to records, and those kind of went away. And now the records are making a a little bit of a comeback.
Exactly.
You know, not major, but I mean, people are interested in
it's like fashion. It's like cycles.
Yeah, look at my bedroom for Exhibit A there.
Yeah.
Big fan.
Yeah.
It's a good point, though.
I've seen a lot of the electronic type switching to like, not a lot of it, but I've seen a few for baseball. Like, I've seen a few websites where it's like NFT baseball cards, basically.
So are you in the NFT card collecting game as well, or are you strictly physical cards?
I like the physical cards better.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
I think everyone does.
It's just cooler, and it's just got the better feel, to me anyway.
It's like reading a book. I don't want to read a book on a Kindle. I want to read a book in my hands.
Exactly, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something primitive about that.
No, it's just like I saw this in an interview one time. I think this applies to trading cards too. Like you're on your phone so much, right? Or we are. Our generation is, because you have to be, whether you want to or not. If you want to survive in the world professionally, personally, you got to be on your phone or laptop, whatever. So when you have, let's say, a trading card and you put it in a binder, like you opening up the act of you like seeing it and opening it up is like a reminder of the time when you did that. Where I don't think you get the same nostalgic feeling looking at your phone because you're on it so much. And a book, for example, when you have a library of books like in your phone, like swiping through that and seeing it is not the same as like placing a book on a coffee table and walking by it and seeing it and like, oh, I should pick this up and read it. Or, oh, I remember when I read that and I learned this about it.
Definitely.
I think it was JJ Redick who said that in an interview. and talked about how like when he finishes a book, he likes to set it somewhere in his house for like several months, and then when he walks by it, he's reminded of like what he got from that book. I think it's cool.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I agree with that.
All right. Well, hey, crew, appreciate your time. I wanted to give you one more invitation here. You don't have to accept it, but given that you're a longtime listener, which we appreciate, and a big fan of the show and wanting to get on, if you have a question you want to ask us, a little cue of the day, right here, right now, you're more than welcome to.
All right. So let me think. I've got a few.
Oh, he's got a few.
That I think would be good.
I'll give you one piece of advice. Don't ask about expansion or moving the fences back.
Ah, dang it, man.
There goes 2 of them. Got one left.
Okay. But no, I've been so inspired by your guys' league just since from watching it. Like,
sweet.
It's inspired me to create like pickup games or leagues and create my own type of content.
Sweet.
And I was just kind of wondering what kind of kept you guys going as a league to help you get to this spot where you guys are.
Commish?
I think it's honestly just the love of the game. I think it brings us back to playing wiffle ball as 10-year-olds, and that love has never left us, and everything kind of stems from there. I mean, just the actual act of playing the game and just how youthful it can be and how much you can connect with a variety of different people. I think that's what's always motivated us to build the brand and travel to new places and put on events for our audience. I think it all just stems back to our actual passion and love for the game of wiffle ball. Much like I can tell you love your cards. So really appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, of course, guys. Thank you.
Yeah, sweet crew. Thanks, dude. Appreciate you tuning in, and maybe we'll talk to you again sometime soon. Appreciate it.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
All right.
Thanks, man. Have a good one.
See ya.
All right, you guys too. See you.
We need more fan call-ins. I'm getting sick of talking to you guys every week.
We do.
That was interesting. I like that.
We do. We appreciate that. And seriously, if you guys want to call in again, just send me a message and let me know what you want to talk about. It doesn't need to be anything even like directly related to that week's game or video. I'm always open to exciting conversations and ideas.
For sure.
So, and everybody seems to want longer episodes, which are always more hard to produce, but they are cool if stuff is relevant, right?
Participation, man.
It's actually a good point I need to bring up, Jack. I have a little update for the people. I want you all to make sure, if you don't already follow us on Instagram, make sure you follow us at Pipe It Up MLW. There will likely be within the next week a slight upload change and upload schedule for the Pipe It Up podcast.
Ooh.
So this week is going to still be Tuesday audio, Tuesday video. Next week and beyond will likely be either Tuesday audio and Wednesday video or Wednesday audio, Wednesday video. So I know it's another Tuesday, another pod. It's our lingo. We might have to slightly modify that, and it might be a Wednesday moving forward.
Put it on a vintage T-shirt.
We'll see. Yeah, it might be it. Were you there when they were uploading Tuesdays? That's how you'll identify yourself as an OG fan.
Were you a Tuesdayer?
I was a Tuesday listener back in the day.
That's right.
So
That's
just
funny.
stay tuned on our Instagram. I'll post updates on the stories when we make it more official, but it will likely be video for sure Wednesday, possibly audio and video Wednesday. I know a lot of you guys, it's part of your Tuesday routine. Might take a few weeks to get used to it, but it'll be consistent, whatever it is. You know? So small shift in your day-to-day lives.
It's all right.
The one good thing there is if you are used to it being Tuesday, then for the first few months, you'll be listening to it and be like, oh, I still have 4 more days left of my work week. But you'll be like, wait, it's Wednesday.
Yeah, you're going to think it's
hump day
Tuesday.
already.
Yeah.
Exactly. We're going to trick your brain and make your lives a little better, actually.
Right. I like that.
So it's
Smart,
a spin zone.
That's
Jack.
the whole reason.
It's a little spin zone. Closing comments regarding Topps. I don't know. Anything you didn't say in the video that you wish you would have in our little mock interview we did, you and I?
Not
I know
really.
we kind of had it scripted out, like questions we wanted to discuss. So
Yeah, I think how I kind of gave my main takeaway in the video was just how cool things can come to us of just us doing our thing. That was awesome. And, it's a credit once again to our audience for putting us in this position, and then Topps for reaching out in the first place. Such a cool thing for us to be, something that we collected as kids and now involved in an actual set is just, once again, I just still can't even believe it.
I wish we knew exactly who was responsible for getting us in the set.
Yeah.
We might not ever know unless they somehow, some way hear this conversation.
I bet I
see
could
that video.
I could email them and be like, who was the guy?
But it'd have to go from Doug to Topps, and then from Topps, like management, probably to
I want to shake their hand.
Yeah, I want to give them a handshake. I think the one thing that I wish, I guess I don't wish because I kind of already said it, but it was definitely weird. Like sometimes you do things and it truly, I don't know. It almost does feel like a dream. Like it doesn't feel real, even though it's so real. And like you've put in so much work to do something.
I know what you mean.
But when you're sitting there, like I'm like, oh, only 100 more to go, and I'm going. And then like in your brain, you have that internal dialogue. Like you realize this is nuts, right?
Yeah.
Like you're signing your own Topps trading card. Like it's unbelievable.
I was like in my mind, I was comparing it to like playing with your, playing as yourself in like a video game. Like if you're in a video game, that's got to be just like a moment where you're really like, wow, like other people are buying this and like playing as me. And for the trading cards, it's like people are, I don't know. It's just, I have to imagine, like you said, it's got to be somewhat of like a pinch yourself sort of moment.
It is, because I talk about this a lot, how like we've been pretty like slow in our, I guess, come up, for lack of a better phrase there. Like MLW has been a very gradual growth. Never like that massive like Hollywood like cheesy scene of like
industry plants.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I guess I never had like that crazy like 2-week span where I was like, oh my god, I'm so famous, this and that. Yeah, we're not famous obviously, but just saying, like it didn't happen like that. So when you collected cards as an 8-year-old kid and then you're autographing them when you're 23 or 24. Like it's very different, and it's hard to snap out of it being like, this is nuts. Like, yes, it's taken forever for something like this to happen. And you do feel like, you've earned those types of things, but then like I said, you're doing it and you're going through it, and it's like, this really is like insane.
It's very cool. Very cool.
So I think that applies to a lot of people too. Whereas if you whatever your craft or your hobby or like your passion you go after like independently and it blows up quick, it might be like almost overwhelming. But you probably still appreciate it more, like, oh my god, versus when you're older and you've been going at it for so long, it feels more like a normal thing, which it shouldn't, right? It shouldn't feel normal. It should feel like a oh my god type situation.
Yeah.
But it was so cool.
Well said, Tom.
Is that good? Was that good?
Was
that a good monologue?
That was good.
I don't know. My monologues can be weak sometimes.
No, it was good, Tom.
So what do you think of my monologue in the video about, what did I say about the kids put in the work, put in the grind?
Put in the work. I
left
think you
that
hit the nail on the head.
Uncut monologue?
Yeah. I think you hit the nail on the head.
I need more good monologues. I think I need to get out like every Sunday on Instagram and just do a monologue.
I liked your one story about going to like, I think it was like a Walmart or Target, and the guy, the Topps Chrome. I left that clip like unedited for like a minute and a half, and I never do that.
I wish there was.
It was just good flow.
It was so funny because the way I told it was really what happened. Because I wish I remembered what I exactly said, but he just like kind of interrupted our conversation and overheard us talking about, like, he's like, oh, I think that's this set and there's this many cards. I was like, oh, thanks, man. And then I was like, yeah, I got a card in this box. I kind of said it like subtle flex. I don't know if I said it like,
Tom, let's go hang out at Target and just stake out by our cards.
I don't know.
Be like, I'm in this.
Yeah, I don't know if
I'm in this right here.
Or if my cousin said it. But then, yeah, he was like, he 100% thought I was a pro baseball player. And I was like,
that's hilarious.
Nope, not me.
No offense.
Because he's like, oh, you have a Topps Chrome? And I was like, no. And then he was just confused, and it kind of got awkward because I didn't want to be like, I didn't want to go into a 5-minute lecture of, I'm this YouTuber who does this. And like, so I was like, no, I'm not an athlete. They do other stuff in this set too. And I just kind of walked away. But
I have a question for Jack, actually. That kind of reminded me of it. So say like me and Tommy are in like a restaurant, and like a couple 10-year-olds come up to us and they get our autographs and take pictures with us. What do you think everybody else in the restaurant is thinking me and Tommy do? Or what's our profession or occupation?
Ooh.
Can I tell you what I would think they're thinking?
I think they're probably pretty confused, first of all. But
like if we had to be known for something.
I mean, I feel like most like, no offense, you guys you don't look like a MLB baseball player. So
my answer is not
really
that.
Look like professional athlete.
Yes.
You guys don't really look like actors or anything like that.
Okay, well, my thing was we'd be like backup actors, like on like a hit Netflix show or like a Nickelodeon show, like truly like C like EF list, but like have like a small role in like a TV show. That's what I would say to me and Tommy.
Yeah, that's what I feel like most people, honestly, their first thought would be that you're popular on the internet for like TikTok, for like TikTok. I was just gonna say,
I think if you asked me that question 2 years ago, I would have said, oh, they'd be very confused. Yeah, I think everyone kind of knows now about like influencers. Like that's a thing. That's what I would think. They probably think you're like an influencer. Yeah, they do. Like that's talked about at the Thanksgiving dinner table now, right? So they probably think, oh yeah, it's a social media person. It has to be like, because there's.
Would be really funny if other people just started coming up after that and asking for your picture, and they don't even know.
It's usually, yeah.
But they just.
I bring that up because it just happened to me at a Mod Pizza a couple weeks ago. I felt so uncomfortable because a kid knew me from like coming to one of our tournaments or something before, but he never got like a picture with me.
Mm-hmm.
But then he left, and then everybody was just staring at me. I'm like, oh my God, what do they think I do, or who am I? Like, but in this situation, nobody came up to me. But in the past, there's been like a couple other parents. Maybe their kid was like coming up to me, and their parents was like, "I'm sorry, I don't know who you are. What do you guys do?" And I'm like, "Yeah, they probably watch us on YouTube and that kind of thing."
I haven't been independently recognized in so long. Have I told them to recognize stories on this podcast? Probably.
I think
start
you
repping
have.
the gear.
I've told a couple.
You have?
A couple, yeah.
You wear the logo. The logo is a very easy talking point.
Yeah, I don't know.
But even I don't really wear the hat every day.
Norp gets recognized everywhere.
I always actually purposely try to wear it when I'm in like large, like in an airport. Even if it's not an MLW trip, I'll try to like put on a sweatshirt or something.
It's weird. I was in full on Creighton gear at Little Caesars Arena the other day. I was at the Sweet 16 game, and a kid came up to me and said, "I love the videos." I was like, "How did you even recognize me?" I got a Creighton hat on, a Creighton windbreaker.
Yeah.
No MLW gear whatsoever, and it was just in the concourse walking by.
I still think
must be my face.
I think I've only
got a recognizable face.
I've only been approached. The
hair.
It must be.
I've only been approached in public, I think, 3 times. I think it's still only 3 times ever. Like without Norp and Kyle and like the crew, the entourage with me, by myself, independent situation. I think it was only 3 times, and it happened all within the span of like 2 months. Like when in 2022 we had a good surge.
That's when the Mallards were hot.
Yeah, like I got recognized.
It's some bandwagons
at a concert. Like I was walking to the bathroom. Like it was before the opening acts started. We got there early. Got a spot in the front of the pit, and I'm walking to the bathroom, and I heard someone say my name, and I like double taked, and then he was like looking at me. He's like MLW, and I was like, "What up?" I kept walking. But so that was one time, and then
you just got to go to a Tigers game, man.
So the other time
was a
Tigers game, and I was sitting at the end of my row wearing this T-shirt and a hat very similar to this one.
There you go.
And a kid walked by. He's like, he was older, like my age probably. He's like, "You play wiffle ball?" I was like, "Yeah." He's like, "Mallards?" I was like, "Yep." And he's like, "What's up, dude?" And I was like, "What's up?" He was cool about it. And then the other time was there's 2 more times. Other time I was in Ann Arbor. But again, this has never happened. It was all within like a month.
Yeah, that is crazy.
So I think, it was like the early season, the engagement was high, but it may have just been a weird coincidence that it all happened that quickly.
Mallards must have been playing good, man. If you guys are struggling.
It was right when we got Robles. So
yeah, you guys were playing good.
But those videos popped off though. 2022 opening day and the second upload back to back. Remember those both popped?
Oh, they always pop first couple.
And then I was in Ann Arbor with my buddies at one time, Mallards, Noah and Nate. We were sitting at a dinner table. This was like not the MLW crowd at all. This was like 10 p.m. Friday night out in public. And some guy, like a guy my age, again, is like, "Dude, you play in MLW, right?" And Noah and Nate are like, "No way. There's no shot." He's like, "You paid this kid." I'm like, "I swear to God." They were joking with me. It's funny.
You paid him?
Yeah, like, you paid this guy.
That's hilarious.
And then the last time was at just the Planet Fitness in Brighton.
Yeah.
Where we're from. And it was early morning working out, and some kid's like, "Dude, love the videos." I was like, "All right, thanks, man." But it was weird how it all happened in 2 months. It didn't happen before that. Hasn't happened since then.
That is strange. I must have been really famous there for like a second. For a second, I thought I was famous, and then it stopped abruptly. One with me was when I was wearing a MLW sweatshirt, and I was in Brighton I think it was at like a Chipotle, and whoever was working behind the counter, I was like, "I'll have a bowl." They're like, You play in that league?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they're like, "Oh, it's awesome. Like, I love it." So that was one. And then the other one was in a restaurant, and it was like, there must have been some local basketball tournament or some youth sports tournament, because like the whole restaurant was like all, our audience.
That's happened to us before.
And it was a parent that like came up to me and was like, "Are you like so-and-so?" And I was like, "Yeah." And
I'm him.
I am him.
Yeah.
And
autographs after the meal.
And she was like, he was like, "My son, he's like too scared to like come up to you." And I like told him I was like, "Come on, like it's fine." And I can't remember. I think there was one more, but I can't remember. But it's only been a few.
I remember mine 4 times.
It's only been a few.
I don't think I'm forgetting any experiences. It has happened before, but I've been with other people. Like I've been with Jimmy. I've been with Kyle. I've been at the airport with our groups, at restaurants, like after a game in my jersey and stuff like that. But
the Dude Perfect show is funny because like that exact audience is our audience. So when we were walking around with like Norp, Cratch, me, you, Jorgensen, like it was so funny how many times they recognize us.
This could be a good video though. Like I swear to you, say Dude Perfect comes back to Detroit this year. If I were to walk through there and maybe even put my MLW hat on.
Do an experiment?
Yeah, and just see by myself if someone were to
That would be fun. And then we do,
That would be
so
a good
you're
video.
like the objective, or you're like the independent variable, and like Norp comes in with you. We'll see how much it changes.
Oh my God. See, I'm telling
that's
you,
a good video.
it would be 10 to 1. And
a
it
good video.
might be 0 for me. It might be
That
0
would be
for me.
statistically significant results right there.
Yeah.
Adding Norp.
That's a really
I think,
good video.
No, I think what
idea.
you should do really is just have me walk and then like a 30
At a
second,
Tigers game, like
30
one lap?
Yeah, 30 seconds behind me is Jimmy. So it's passing the same people.
This might
Yeah.
be a great
And to see
short
what
form
happens, 'cause
vertical video.
I think he gets, say he does one lap at Comerica Park on a sold out crowd. I think he gets stopped probably 3-4 times. I think it's 0 for me. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. I'm serious.
What if you went up and down
I don't think
every
you're
aisle?
wrong.
Up and down every aisle. Lower bowl.
I don't think anyone would recognize me.
Not one time. Sold
I
out
also
Tigers
think that
crowd.
I'm not approachable because I feel like more people have to have known who I am.
Yeah,
I
just,
think if you're wearing the Mallards
I think I
jersey
look like
or
a jerk
hat,
to these kids. Like they're
yeah,
scared.
Norp.
you don't.
Norp's a bright face to greet. I think.
No, but like think about how I like.
Norp looks
talk.
like a grease ball. Like, what do you mean?
With the hair.
Yeah, like he
No, but
doesn't
Jim,
look
like,
any.
is
He doesn't.
clearly-
He doesn't look more approachable than you.
Maybe you gotta.
I feel like no, but the way maybe not look, but like the way he carries himself. Like I'm a very. Even like at our tournaments, like I'm always
You just
business
think he
first
looks
guy.
more
business
friendly?
first.
He's like a very
Norp's
goofball
goofball
guy.
Norp.
Like
Yeah.
his interviews, he's cracking jokes and he's giggling and laughing. I'm just like, came here to play today. We didn't get it done. Like I'm very
You
serious.
should just have a slight grin then when you're walking around.
Yeah, just
maybe
put on a
that'll do
little
it.
smile.
Like I feel like the conversations have happened where it's like, Mom, that kid plays in MLW, and then they don't come up.
And
It's
you're like, "Her."
Dude, this would be
Like, he's
fun.
You're walking through the concourse
he's
like, "Her."
intimidating. Yeah,
This is a great experiment though.
you just need someone to follow us with a camera.
I'm sorry, Jim. You're not a grease
Mic'd
ball.
up. That'd be
I'd
really
like
funny.
to put some money on this personally. I think if I walk around Comerica once, I would not get stopped. And if Jimmy
don't
was,
think you would either.
if Jimmy was 15 seconds behind me, like so, it's the same people he's passing. I think he gets stopped.
I think he would.
I think it
so, too.
depends on the game. Tigers game, if it's like a sold out crowd, or if it's
Now,
like a day
what
game,
if-
nobody there.
What if
I think you get recognized.
Jimmy was walking in front of you?
And then they saw me after him.
Yes.
It'd be like,
I
oh,
think
Jimmy, oh, what's
I
up,
think
Tommy?
Then they
Yeah.
double take. I think then
Yeah.
they double take.
It would like
I think they
elicit
would.
something in their brain.
Yes.
It's like, all right,
Yes.
I'm in MLW mode now.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I think that would change it for sure.
Right.
But it's me going in first.
They see those locks, man. They're like, oh, that's MLW.
I think, yeah, if you went first and then Jim second, you get a couple of like second looks. What do you call that? Like a
Double take,
Double
but
take.
I
You
don't
get
know.
double takes, and then Jim is when they would pull the trigger and be like, "What's up?"
Yep.
But see, even then, I'm just assuming they wouldn't even think twice about me because if the double take thing would then favor Jimmy because like, did I just see an MLW guy? And it's like, oh, it's Jimmy. I definitely did see Tommy back there.
But if it was just you're saying,
Right.
then it's just like I'm not going up to him.
Once again, if you see Jimmy, you know
I
it's
think the
you
better
know it's
experiment
Jimmy.
would be to space it out a bit more.
You think so?
Yeah.
There's a lot of ways
not
to do this.
right, 15 seconds, but do it maybe like a
Well,
couple
I just wanted
innings
to make
later.
sure, like say one day, coincidentally, I might not pass an MLW fan. So that's why I was trying to have it be the same crowd, keep that control
Yeah.
variable.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
Yes, this is all very fun.
science, Jack.
Yeah.
You got to have an independent variable
That's
and a
true.
dependent variable.
Taking me back
I gotta get up to snuff on my science here.
Yeah, it's been a
Taking
long
back to
time.
stats class.
Watch some more Mark Rober.
That's right.
He has some controlled experiments like that.
Yeah.
This week in non-plastic sports.
Mm.
For the first time in my life, and I'm not saying this in a negative connotation at all, but I am legitimately bummed out that I am missing the women's basketball tonight.
Oh, we
Recording
need-
this pod.
Can I get a score update, please?
I can Google it. Yeah, is Iowa playing first?
Yeah, it's Iowa LSU right now.
36-34 with 5 minutes left in the second quarter.
Oh, we're
LSU
good.
leads.
Good, nice. We can see the second half.
Well, I'm editing, but there's some real hype around this women's basketball right now. Have you been following along?
I think
No,
I have. I
there's
think
some
it's.
real hype.
I
I've
think it's-
heard there's hype. I haven't been.
Which for
great for the
reference,
sport.
think about, so our generation is obviously very on social media and seeing like maybe if ESPN's pushing it more and trying to get it more relevant, stuff like that. But my Uncle Paul, who is older in his 50s, he's been like, oh yeah, I've been watching Caitlin Clark's like every game this year.
Mhm.
Like it's a real thing.
Oh yeah,
People are really enjoying it. I'm
Yeah.
guessing tonight will break records for women's basketball.
probably the most watched game ever.
Yeah.
I would agree.
Good for the sport.
Because so Caitlin Clark is on Iowa. She's like the
I
face
know
of the
that
sport.
much. I know she
And
set
then
the record, the scoring record.
Yeah, the second most popular player is on LSU.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think it's a combination of social media that's helping, breaking records. So the breaking records thing has
Yeah.
helped a lot. And also they're getting more attention too because ESPN will post numbers about NIL deals for women. So when people are seeing like these girls basketball players are making $1 million, like, whoa, like that's insane.
Yeah.
Which is getting more attention too. And the girl on LSU's name is Angel Reese. She's more like polarizing, right? She speaks her mind a little bit more. And
Yeah, just think like Drew Davis.
yeah, okay. That's a good reference point.
Like she's just more like animated, I guess.
Animated, outspoken.
Yeah.
So we got like the most popular 2 players, top earning players in the sport playing each other in the Elite Eight tonight. So yeah, it's a big deal.
That is
Like,
a big
I was
deal.
legitimately going to tune in. Like I went out of my way, and again, this is not a negative connotation at all, but most of us watch the popular men's sports, right? So me being the same. But I legitimately, when I saw it was Iowa versus LSU, I legit like went on my phone and checked what time it was because I was going to watch. I was going to tune in.
That's awesome.
Isn't that cool?
That is cool.
So that's been going on. Bracket wise, remember when it was all in front of me, Jack, last week? I was like, everything's in front of me. I control my own destiny.
You busted.
I went 0 for 4 in the Sweet 16. All 4 of my Final 4 was in Thursday, Friday games. They all lost. Iowa State, out. Creighton, out. Houston, out. And Arizona, out. They all lost. 0 for 4, very next round. So I'm totally...
What are you going to do?
Tough.
Yeah.
Tough.
You're going to fill out another one next year. That's what you're going to do.
Yep, I am. With an open mind.
Yep.
And a lot of ambition.
A lot of hope.
A lot of hope. I think, like you said it best, UConn's a wagon. That was your words.
They're a wagon.
They're so good.
They're like...
Clinging, man.
I mean...
That was...
I watched the...
Did you watch that tennis...
the
that
Illinois game?
Illinois game, yeah.
Dude, it was like... It was like a switch flipped and they weren't even playing the same sport.
It looked like the
It was
top...
insane.
It looked like the top travel team in the state played your local team's C team. It looked such dominance out there.
30 nothing
Dude,
run.
they were just scoring at will, like nonstop. Just have you ever seen Kicking and Screaming?
I
Yeah.
love that movie. Jack. Come on.
The scene where he's like, and then they just scored and
They
scored and scored and scored and scored and scored.
scored.
That was it.
I had to take an aspirin. That was
Yeah,
just
I had to take an aspirin. Yeah, that was literally that game. It was like Illinois would come down, brick a shot, score, brick a shot, score. Like they weren't even running offense. It was just run and gun. Like score.
Hey, remember when we beat you in the championship game? Hey, remember when I shoved that kid in the pool? Kicks him.
Yeah.
got me good. That movie is so good.
Oh, I got you bad.
That movie is so good.
That is a good movie.
That's a family-friendly movie for all ages, too.
It is.
If you and
I
your
love that movie.
kids have not seen Kicking and Screaming, you're listening to this podcast.
That's your homework.
Watch Kicking and Screaming. It is so funny. And it's still, like, a little bit outdated. Like, it's, 15 years old. So, like, it's still, like, pushes the edge a little bit of, like, things that probably wouldn't be in a movie anymore. But, come on. That's the best. Like, it's so
Yeah,
good.
it's good.
It's so good.
All right, you got me. The
You
Finches
got
were
me.
a bad idea.
You got me. I say that in my day-to-day still.
Finches.
I do. Like, you got me. The such and such is a bad idea. And nobody around me gets it.
We have
Nobody
to keep him. You get to keep him.
You know you get to keep them.
Will Ferrell, man. He's one of
It
the
is
few
a great
guys that
movie.
is, like, very funny in his kids. He's just as funny in his children's roles to me as he is in his, like, a PG-13 and R-rated movies.
That was like the height of family comedies, like the mid 2000s when like all the Shreks were coming out and that was coming out. Over the Hedge, like School of Rock was around that period. All the Jack Black, Will Ferrell
watched
ones,
School of Rock.
so good.
I'm sure there is still new,
Was a good era
new
movies.
comedies now. I heard that this is not new at all. This is 10 years old now, but I heard the Lego movie was really funny. Maybe it was Lego Batman.
Cratch raves about that all
Lego
the time.
Batman. He says it's hilarious.
Really?
Yeah.
I feel like there hasn't been like a great comedy movie in years. Like a
Kids comedy, like a PG comedy or like any comedy?
Like all the
definitely not like a PG comedy like Kicking and Screaming.
Would you
but
hear
even,
about it if there was? Like, I have some younger cousins, but like I don't see them every day. I wouldn't hear about what movies they're seeing and stuff like that.
Yeah, maybe that's a good point.
I would love to know if you're younger, like a little bit younger, and you've seen a good movie that's PG lately. I'd tune in.
Same.
I'm trying to think of other movies. Kicking and Screaming 100%. I always loved Elf, another Will Ferrell movie.
Yeah.
Mall Cop, I think, is excellent. What, you got anything?
Those are good ones. That's why I just like Kicking and Screaming, because it's like it's PG.
No, because I think it
PG-13.
is difficult to be funny sometimes. Like
It is.
it takes away a lot of things you're able to do. So that's why I think Kicking and Screaming, and they're just timeless because you remember when you're younger watching it, and those same things are still funny. Like, it's still classic.
That movie probably wouldn't be rated that if it came out today, though.
You were saying that, and I still think it would. I just
It
don't.
might be, but I also feel like they lean towards rating them.
Do they? I don't know. I
Sometimes I almost think they just throw bad stuff in movies.
PG.
Just
again, there's
you think
there's no swearing.
Again, there's is there movies like that still being made? Like I don't know.
There is no swearing.
Like, what's the worst part about that? I don't even like him shoving a kid into the ground.
Yeah, I mean, he said.
What is he
At one point, he's like,
children.
I've decided if the pizza does not come, we will eat beyond sun. It's like, I don't know. I mean,
Shut up out there.
That doesn't mean R, but
scooches back in his
Yeah.
camper.
It's just like it's like some harsh humor.
It is.
It's harsh. The scene where the kids are singing "Happy Birthday" and he screams at him. Like, it's just kind of harsh.
It is. Yeah,
but it's hilarious.
You're not the only one in the park.
Yeah, exactly.
Daddy Daycare.
What am I
Hilarious.
thinking?
I love that movie.
love Daddy
That's a hilarious movie. Cheaper by the Dozen is not really
that's
like
funny.
it has funny parts. It's more like a feel good.
It's not a
Oh no,
comedy.
that's right up the alley that we were
That's
just
still
talking about.
cool, though.
Same era though.
Great movie.
Cheaper by the Dozen is.
Cheaper by the Dozen got some hilarious parts in it, but it's more of like a feel good.
No,
comedy.
sorry. Not Cheaper by the Dozen.
Dude,
Daddy Daycare.
Daddy Daycare is so funny.
Eddie Murphy.
I
is
think
so
of
good.
I think of Daddy Daycare way more than you may think, because you know that
wanna
like
blow
end of the
something out
year
right now.
like party, or like it's like outdoors. It reminds me
Yeah.
of the wiffle and the mitten, because my parents are working like the front table, and like it's a whole event for kids,
Yeah.
primarily, and like it's a whole fun thing going on. Like
Check.
it's right up that alley.
Should I do it? I'm about to embarrass myself.
Do it.
Ready? BROCCOLI. I am the broccoli and don't know why. And then the carrot comes in and they dance. It's so funny.
He starts breakdancing.
That movie's so good. Eddie Murphy. What else does he do? I'm not going to talk about it. Watch these movies. Cheaper Brother. This is your homework. Any age.
Marvin.
Marvin.
Marvin's so funny.
Cheaper by the
dude.
Dozen. Daddy Daycare. Kicking and Screaming. We'll give you 3.
Mhm.
By May 1st, watch those 3 movies.
Yes.
We should just have like a watch party. Like we should have a movie night, pipe it up movie night, where
We
it's
could
just
stream it.
like it's just us
Live
and like
stream.
100 others, whoever wants to join. And we're just like in the live chat.
Yeah, we'll rent out some space.
That'd be
It'd be
really
fun.
fun.
All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. So next week, next Friday, so the 12th. Oops. Friday the 12th is draft upload day.
Mm.
So we have 1 week to kind of prepare for that. We can talk about our individual preparation next week, Jack.
Okay.
We'll see if he's free. RJ Walgate may or may not be the guest next week.
Let's
Trying to
do
get
it.
RJ on. So
Let's go.
the big man.
He's due.
So we'll see. Blow up his DMs, tell him to come on the show. Hopefully he has no basketball practice. But besides that, that is a wrap. Kyle has one more thing.
I might have an announcement here. Should I give away the opening day matchup?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. When are you going to post it?
I think it might be posted this week,
Yeah, do it now.
but even if it's not, then the Pipe It Up crowd gets a first look.
Sure.
Magic Eagles World Series rematch. They
World
are
Series
going
rematch.
back at it.
Come on.
First series of the year at the Meadows.
I'm so excited. This is my first opening day series.
You get the jitters.
This is huge for the Magic.
It is.
The Magic are really on the come up
This is
in
big.
terms of like exposure.
Yes.
This is
Okay.
huge. So
That is a big piece of exposure you're going to get.
very big.
So capitalize on that.
We will.
So, but good luck to you.
Confident.
You definitely have the opening day jitters. It's going to be cold. It'll be no leaves in the trees.
Every pitcher is going to be wild for the first
No
3
mosquitoes,
batters.
though.
It'll be
hopefully.
windy. It'll be probably chilly. It'll be.
I will take the cold if there are no mosquitoes.
There'll be no mosquitoes. The ground will be a little choppy.
It's fine.
Yeah, it'll be windy. It'll be
It'll be right up
choppy.
your alley, though.
Yeah.
Right up your alley for sure.
Come on.
There's always some nasty pitches, always some big home runs.
Yeah.
There's usually a game that goes into the double digits. Some teams, 12 to 11 type game, 2021, Cobras, Gators. I always think about that game. I think one got a little ugly last year, Eagles, Mallards, when Daniel couldn't find it. I'm not sure.
We poured it on Dallas, too. It was a good game.
Yeah.
Good series for us.
Mm,
I hit the first home run of the year, Jack. Now it's your job to
So
take the torch.
I'll do it.
it'll be
You'll do
fun.
it?
I
I'll do
will
it for
say
you.
the Eagles have been kind of a common opening day team,
Yeah.
but
They're always getting
I
pushed
mean-
by the media.
this matchup was just
Had to.
World Series rematch. You have to do it.
Had to.
All right. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Remember, be on the lookout for an update. It might be a Wednesday video next week, so please, please, please follow us. The @handle is in the corner down here, @Pipe It Up MLW on Instagram. But for now, thanks for tuning in. I spent all of last week dog sitting for a friend's parents, and we will see you all next week.
Pipe it up, 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 pipe it up.